Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's McCreepers, and welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be doing updates for 3.5 tier lists, and at this point, you should know how these guys things work. But the units, if they're not that important, I'm not going to spend that much time explaining the placement. If they are a little bit more important, I'll kind of explain why. Koji is going to be A tier because he's still a solid support with breaking his shield or going for shield. That being said, he doesn't do that much damage these days. Okaroon, I'm gonna put him in probably C tier for now. I might move him out to bottom of B. Rengoku, he's just support. His damage isn't that viable anymore. Momo, where it's gonna be D tier, damage has really fallen off a cliff. Next up we have Peweenie. He's gonna be probably bottom of B tier. His damage is kind of mediocre, but he is one of the few water units that we have. Granny Psycho gonna be another C tier unit that I think I'm gonna have him over Okaroon just because I feel like Burn kind of got a little bit of a revival this update. Gilgamesh is gonna be bottom of S tier, I'll say for now. I might move him down to top of A depending on how I feel. Just because he has a good nuke, he does solid damage, so he's slowly starting to fall. I can see him being A tier next update, to be quite honest with you guys. Dio, he has a cheap time stop. His damage is pitiful though, so I'll leave him A tier. I might move him down to top of B. We'll see. Gojo is another S tier unit for now. If you use her with Sakura, he can be pretty decent. But that being said, he still has a pretty good time stop. He's still full AoE with quite a bit of range and still does solid damage as his SPA holds him back. Sukuna actually got a bit of revival this update. If you didn't know, he has DOT on every single attack. He has bleed for the first 9 attacks, and then he does burn on his last 3 upgrades. So he's still he got a bit of revival. Also, he's still probably only gonna be middle of A tier since he does do quite a bit of damage now that he does DOT. I think it's close to 30k. Plus he has Signature Sanctum, which is a mini nuke. We have Icarus, who I'll put at the bottom of A tier. He might be top of B later on in the list. Valentine, he's still a unit I haven't got since I haven't bothered getting to 46 boss kills, but I have heard he's still really good. I'll put him top of A for now since I heard people say he's really good. So I'll go off of what I heard. Most of these I'm going to be ranking off of personal uses, but there's a few exceptions, and Valentine's one of them. Ishtar is going to be I would say bottom A since she does have a okay nuke ability. She does solid damage, but the big thing is she's a support unit for all Fate units. I think she gives a 10% damage and range buff to all Fate units. Lancer is going to be another S tier unit. I feel like he's going to be more viable in the long term than Gojo, since he had permanently disables bleed with his rupture. Julia's is going to be a B tier unit since he does still do solid damage. It's just he has a long SPA, but he's also an okay support. Next up we have Zion once again. He does decent damage, decent burn, but it's just not going to be better than anybody. In A tier, you're not going to use Zion over Sukuna, especially since Sukuna is immune to both stun and snare. Next up we have Archer, who I feel like is going to be under Sukuna. He's probably can be under him, and Sukuna can probably change places however you want. If you want to say Archer's better, I'm okay with that. He has a really good ability that makes it so that he's a good both support and technically DPS unit with his 50% crit, but his ability also makes it so other blast units do more damage, so he's also kind of a support. Next up we have Medea. She has a solid ability, just solid damage. She kind of just an all-around okay pick. Same thing can be said about Medusa here. Solid damage, solid ability. Nothing that's game breaking or above anybody else, but these two are really interchangeable here. I'll say probably Medusa's just a little bit better just because she does bleed. Saber is going to be our next S tier unit. She's going to be currently a best S tier unit in the game. I still think she technically has the highest. I think technically speaking, she still has the best overall DPS in the game. That being said, she and both her and Saber Ultra do very different things, so I'll say that. Johnny, he's another solid DPS option. I feel like he should be top of B tier. I personally haven't used him much. He's one him all the other than Dio, all the JoJo units I really haven't used that much. I'm just going based off what I heard, and I heard like he's still a solid DPS option if you don't have anybody else. Choso, I'm gonna have him in like have him top like middle or not mid, like mid to low A tier. He's still probably one of the best bleed units in the game just because he's fully AoE, pretty low SPA, and does more damage to bleed enemies. So overall, still really good utility with his bleed, since disables bleed or disables regen. Sorry, Toto, next D tier unit, he's just not good. Gyro, once again, I think he's just a solid DPS option. But yeah, Akaza will do bottom of C tier. His utility just isn't there. Shaheen, she's just going to be D tier. She's fallen off a cliff. She just doesn't do as much damage anymore. That'll be if her damage was higher, she'd probably be like B tier, like top of B tier, just because of how good her passives are and how big her AoE is. But since she doesn't do that much damage, she's like I think the low damaging Mythic unit in the game. She is where she is. Tengen is going to be, I would say, like mid B tier since he's a full AoE unit at the end of the day. His damage isn't better than like I would say anyone here, but he's a full AoE unit. So he's just gonna go in like mid B tier here for now. Sakura support. Jogo, I don't know how I feel about burn units as a whole right now. They're kind of in the gutter. None of them are really all that great, other than Sorcery, I think, or Datara. But yeah, right now he's not super great. He has a pretty decent ability that technically just kind of just turns him into full AoE. Fubuki is just going to support. She does freeze and SPA debuff, and everything else about her is pretty shit. Amelia, she's going to be. I'll put her in A tier. So she does do solid damage for her support, but obviously you're really bringing her for that freeze since she increases freeze by 2 seconds. Um, Next up we have I can't think of his name, but Fire Force dude. He's technically a full AoE freeze unit, kind of. Well, I think it's Frostburn. It's really weird. His conditions are really weird. I feel like if he just had full AoE Frostburn, like without having to meet any other conditions, he'd be top of A tier, honestly, because his Frostburn is actually really broken if you know how it works. But since he has like a really weird like requirement to get it, I'll say he's probably like I'll put him. I'll put him here for now because like his Frostburn is really good. I think if they add like a good burn unit next update, like he will still be like really high A tier. Next up we have Sorcery. I think that's I can't remember if one's data. I think this is Sorcery. I think I'm gonna put him at the top of B tier. So I think he's technically the best burn unit in the game because he has 50% burn, which is pretty insane. Next up we have Ragna. I still haven't pulled him yet, but obviously he has insane damage potential. It's technically infinite. There's not much that can really be said about him. Gogeta, I'll put, if you didn't know, he has the highest just raw DPS in the game, which is, it's like 75k, I think, which is pretty insane. Next will be a Rem and Rom. I'll put him at, I think Rem and Rom for me are top of A tier. They're really insane. Like if you know how to use them, or if you use them in general, you know how good she is for how cheap he is. She's just like, there's nothing bad about her. Subaru, gonna be another support unit. Just damage buffs. Dataro, I think this is Dataro. I heard he's a good DPS unit. Like he's an okay DPS unit if you don't have anybody else. I'll put him like below these two because I think he essentially has like a nuke ability, kind of ish. Next up we have Naruto. He just nothing good about him. Then next up we have Diavolo. I'll put him top of A tier. Um, he has really good support. He has like insane support, so we'll just leave him there. His damage isn't super great though, but he has a lot of utility in his kit that makes him really useful to run if you do have him. Next up we have Alucard, who I think in my last tier list I have him at like the top of S tier. And I'll say I'm gonna move him down to like mid S tier. Cause like he's still really good. It's just his damage isn't great. Albeit he has the best support ability in the game, which increases damage all damage sources by 30%. So like he can be really insane if you use him. But for now, if they add someone who does damage amp, like he's honestly gonna be like here, like really, if we're being realistic, like probably top of B, like probably bottom of A. So like for now, we're just gonna leave him middle S tier since no one else does what he does right now. Moving on to Obito, he's gonna be in the same tier as Gojo. Most of the burn units in this game just aren't that viable other than Sukuna right now, since they just don't really have anything special to them. Like they don't have like none of the burn units have like any like special abilities that like make them stand out. Next up we have Vegeta, who I'll move down to A tier. I feel like I still love Vegeta, but like he's just I'll say he's middle of B tier these days. He's not as good as he once was. The thing is, if you have Lancer or Vegeta, what you typically do is you have a better you have a better trade on for the beginning of rounds, and then if you need to deal with bleed, you go with Lancer. Is the problem. So that's right now for me. Vegeta's like if they add a better start unit next update, Vegeta's probably gonna be in B tier. Lily and Berserker, like bottom of A tier. They have like it's a unique concept. It's just not great. The Berserker ability is cool, but like it's just not that good. Since it takes a long time to actually build him up to like his max potential. That being said, she's still like they're still solid. It's just they're not super viable. Next up, we have Saber alternate or Saber alternate. I do believe that like both versions of Saber are kind of like interchangeable, however you like. The problem with Saber, obviously, if you don't bring Sakura, she debuffs all units pretty much in her range, which kind of sucks. So like, I feel like these two are really interchangeable. I'll leave normal Saber above her, but the damage to Saber Black is insane. Obviously, especially with her I think it's called Black Excalibur. Please, hopefully that's the right name for it. Which like increases their damage like by a fuck ton. I think it's a full AoE ability, I believe, or attack, or just massive circle AoE. But that being said, I'm not like it's just she's really weird to use for me, so I'm just gonna leave her there. Next up we have Sakura. She's one of those units where it's like on paper she seems bad, but like isn't, but like she's also not good. It's like she's really weird. Just because of how good she can be with Saber alternate, obviously, I'll put her in like mid A tier. She does do 4K DPS, but like she's also cost like 100, close to 100,000 to actually max out, which is really expensive, especially when you have some that's like Rem and Ron who take like closer to like 50 to 60. So it's like she's really it's like she's not good, but you have to, if you're using Saber alternate, you almost have to use her. It's kind of the problem here. Next up we have Ebsteph, who like I'm really conflicted with her because like I personally don't have her, but I have seen her and she seems really like insane. Like it seems like she can make it, she overall just feels like I'm not gonna lie, I think she's like an S tier candidate. Like I think you put her in S tier, like that's honestly fine. Cause like she can make a certain unit do 50% more damage, I believe, with her like I'd saying Passion Warrior or whatever she does. But even if even if she didn't do that, she's still insane because she does like 28k base. Not to mention, like, I think her max damage is like 40k, and she does freeze. Like, she's just insane. I feel like I'll leave her in A tier, but like if you said told me she's S tier, like I wouldn't like disagree with you. My guess if I had her and like because I haven't had her, I haven't grinded for her yet since it's just a long grind. And I don't really feel like doing it. I'll be quite honest with you guys, not right now anyway. For now, I'll leave her in top of A tier. I do truly think she seemed absolutely insane to me, from what I've seen. So I'll leave her top A tier because she has a really good support ability and she does freeze. But yeah, I think that's the tier list. I'm trying to look and see if there's anybody who would want to move. I don't think I'm missing anybody this time. I hope I'm not. There may be like one or two mythics I'm missing. Like I'm looking at it. There feels like a few mythics that should be here. But overall, I think I have everybody. So yeah. Uh, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.